high-profile arrest, we understand, is happening in Johannesburg right now. Let's get you the latest from our reporter, Chriselda Lewis. Chriselda, give us a sense of what you're seeing on the ground. What's happening where you are?
Well, we're just about to have breaking news here on SABC News, and what is a high-profile police operation which is currently underway in Alberton, and it's part of an investigation that the Independent Police Investigative Directorate has been doing relating to the, you'd recall, 14 million rand precious stones theft, in which you would recall there was a witness at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, which was witness K, who basically testified about a bogus police operation that had taken place in Killarney in 2023. And during that bogus operation, we had that witness K, had basically mentioned that she knew, together with the suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi, about a bogus police operation where a theft was to take place of precious stones worth over 14 million rand. I'm going to ask you to stay with us because it is quite important that we wait. We do understand that there's a possibility that the tactical response team, which has also gone inside with members of the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, might be reading the rights of the suspect at this particular time. I'm going to ask my colleagues in studio kindly not to mention who that individual is at the moment. I will indicate as soon as we have an opportunity. You'll take a look here behind me. This is a high-profile operation relating to, you would recall, the precious stones theft back in 2023. And you would recall that relating to that precious stones investigation, you would know what had taken place was that it was alleged by witness K at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry that she had known about this bogus operation by police, and that allegedly part of the orchestrators of that bogus operation included the suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi. Now, on the backdrop of this precious stones investigation that had been on, you would recall just yesterday, two other suspects in this same matter, Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department official Kirsha Lee Stolz, who resigned from the EMPD about a year ago when the investigation into this matter had begun. She, together with EMPD official Agent Mackenzie, were granted bail of 5,000 rand each in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court. They too also accused in the 14 million rand precious stones theft in 2023. And essentially what those two accused did, they threw the suspended EMPD Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi under the bus. Mackenzie and Stolz, in their bail applications, you'd recall, argued that they were acting on Mkhwanazi's instructions to hand over the stones to witness K, who testified before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry that she and Mkhwanazi knew about the robbery, which was under the false pretense of a legitimate police operation. And also yesterday, charges were also withdrawn against one of the other accused, you'd recall, who was also arrested, who was private security boss Etienne van der Walt, after representations were made to the Director of Public Prosecution. So we're live to you from a high-profile police and IPID operation, where one of the suspects in the precious stones, 14 million rand robbery is likely to be arrested in the next few moments. In the next few moments, we're just going to try, see there are some children also here. We'll try to not show those children who are coming out of the house. But what I understand to be taking place at the moment is that the rights of this suspect are being read at this particular time. Members of the tactical response team are also just here behind me at the moment, and I do understand that the suspect is inside at this particular time and is likely to be arrested in the next few moments and coming out. This, of course, relating to, you remember, just yesterday, the two other accused in the precious stones, 14 million rand theft back in 2023 in Killarney, appeared in court for a bail application, and they were granted 5,000 rand bail each. We're expecting any moment now for this suspect to come out. In the next few moments. And all of this is related to an investigation, you know, that the Independent Police Investigative Directorate had been conducting. And what we do know, of course, from the Independent Police Investigative Directorate is that any moment now we will expect that suspect to emerge from this house. And we do understand as well, not to give too much away, that this is not the only operation that we will be involved in this afternoon. I don't want to give too much away in jeopardizing the police's and the IPID's operation at this particular time, but indeed this particular case related to the 2023 robbery in Killarney of those more than 14 million rand precious stones. And remember, it was witness K at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry who basically told the inquiry that she was a girlfriend of the suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi. This robbery, under the guise of a legitimate police operation, was organized in Killarney, and the understanding was that it was purported to be a legitimate operation, but in fact it was a theft. And witness K telling the Madlanga Commission that she and Julius Mkhwanazi actually knew about what was taking place. And you would recall yesterday the other two accused in the very same matter basically throwing the suspended EMPD Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi under the bus. They say, and these are the two EMPD officials, in fact, one of them, Kershaw Lee Stolz, had resigned from EMPD about a year ago, and then you also had EMPD official Adrian McKenzie alongside Stolz in court yesterday. They threw Mkhwanazi under the bus, saying that in their bail applications, arguing that they were acting on Mkhwanazi's instructions to hand over those stones to witness K, who I indicated testified before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, that she and Mkhwanazi basically knew about the robbery, which was under the false pretense of a legitimate police operation. We're going to ask you to stay with us at this time. Stay with us any moment now. The suspect is likely to come out. You would understand, in terms of police procedure, her rights are to be read to her. At this particular stage, we just try to ascertain what the situation is. And I know that from these arrests, which will be taking place today, the suspects are likely to appear in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court on Monday. This particular arrest, of course, you would recall, relating to the 14 million rand precious stones theft in 2023, allegedly orchestrated by the suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi. And we heard that, of course, from Witness K at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, that they knew about what was going to go down. Now, the two accused who appeared in court yesterday, essentially saying they'd acted on instructions by Julius Mkhwanazi to hand over those stones to Witness K. So they were, you would recall, granted bail. They were granted a bail of 5,000 rand each, and they are due back in court at a later stage, of course. All right, here is the suspect coming out now. This is the suspect who is coming out, and we do understand she's being taken to a police vehicle where she will be processed, of course. She's being taken into the vehicle now. All right. And I think at this particular stage we are able to say that this is Witness K. I think that's breaking news at this particular time. Witness K, who testified at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, speaking about the precious stones robbery. I think you're going to have to let us go in just a moment, so that we need to leave this particular area, and we'll come back to it at a later stage. But breaking news at this particular point, that Witness K, who you'd recall appeared before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, stating that there was a bogus police operation that had taken place where stones worth 14 million rand, precious stones worth 14 million rand, had been stolen in a bogus police operation, and that was orchestrated by the suspended EMPD official Julius Mkhwanazi. I'm going to have to let you go right now. I think we're moving to our next location. We're going to ask the studio to let us go for this moment. But breaking news on our channel now, Witness K, who testified in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry about the theft of those precious stones, 14 million rand worth of, in a bogus operation allegedly orchestrated by Julius Mkhwanazi. She's just been arrested at this time. I'm going to hand it back to studio as we have to leave.
That's our reporter, Chriselda Lewis. Of course, a major development having emerged in this investigation into the alleged theft of precious stones during that bogus police raid at a Johannesburg property. As you heard there a short while ago, a high-profile female suspect who previously testified before the Madlanga inquiry. Quite interestingly, we do understand now that it being confirmed, it is Witness K. She's been arrested and is expected to appear in court, also marking a significant breakthrough in this case. And just to give you some context, the arrest comes as the Commission continues to investigate these allegations of corruption, criminal infiltration of the police, and abuse of the policing system as well. And these precious stones, or the case itself, has featured quite prominently in the Commission's proceedings, with the evidence detailing alleged bogus raid and the involvement of law enforcement officials as well, some being seen in court. And our SABC News senior reporter, Chriselda Lewis, has been covering both this criminal investigation, but also the Commission's proceedings as well. And she has unpacked the circumstances surrounding the arrest, the charges the suspect is expected to face, but also the implications of this case right now. Speaking about... Let's track the latest developments following that dramatic arrest that unfolded a short while ago. We go back to our reporter, Chriselda Lewis. Chriselda, what's the latest there?
All right, we are on location of what is expected to be a second arrest, a high-profile second arrest by the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, as well as members of the tactical response team that you're also seeing approaching the entrance of this house. This is the second arrest now relating to this afternoon, of course, relating to the more than 14 million rand precious stones robbery in 2023. You'd recall it was witness K who's now arrested by authorities. Witness K had testified that she knew of a bogus operation together with her boyfriend, the suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi, about a bogus police operation.
Well, a break in reception there, of course, as that dramatic development unfolds in the investigation into alleged theft of precious stones during that bogus police raid in Johannesburg. What we know so far, a woman who testified before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry under the pseudonym Witness K, she's been arrested, as you saw a short while ago, and is expected to appear in a Johannesburg Magistrate Court. And now her arrest follows testimony before the commission detailing the alleged operation and the involvement of law enforcement officials. Chriselda, I do understand that we have you back on the line. Continue giving us a sense of what's transpiring there.
Well, that's right. We're on location of the house of the second suspect in this operation this afternoon, relating to the 2023 precious metals or precious stones theft in Killarney. You would recall, as I indicated, that it was Witness K who has now been arrested by police. She's been taken in just a few moments ago. She had testified at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry about knowing about a bogus police operation together with the suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi. And that bogus police operation, 14 million rands worth of precious metals had been stolen at that operation. And you'd recall that just yesterday, two other suspects in this very same matter, you'd recall, were granted 5,000 rand a bail each, and that was Chriselda Lewis, as well as, you'd recall, Chriselda Lewis, as well as EMPD official Agent Mackenzie. They were granted 5,000 rand a bail each, and the two had basically said that they were acting on instructions of the suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi when they handed over those precious stones after they'd been stolen, and they were handed over to Witness K, who has now been arrested. Members of the tactical response team, investigators from the Independent Police Investigative Directorate have now entered this property, and we're not quite sure at this particular stage if the suspect who is being sought, the second suspect this afternoon, will come out of the house or whether he is present. At this particular stage, I'm not at liberty to divulge the name of this individual, but this individual has had quite a brush with the law, quite a number of controversies, and is currently before a number of court cases relating to a number of issues. I'm really trying to be careful in not trying to give away something that might identify this second suspect here this afternoon before he comes out, if at all he is here at this particular stage. The investigators are still inside. Sabona baba, kunjani? Ungwala ekhaya okanye uhamba nathi? Oh hayi, sengizokuhlaba ngemic. Apologies there. Apologies, colleagues. I was just having a private conversation with a gentleman who I thought is a member of the household here. And he tells me, no, he's actually going with us. I'm just trying to ascertain what the police may be doing inside at this point. They've gone inside the house. I'm going to ask my colleague point towards this direction. And the individual who is the second suspect this afternoon, who is alleged to be inside this house, we're not sure at this particular stage if police are going to bring him out, has been a central figure in quite a number of controversies, including some of the issues relating to alleged corruption. And at this particular stage, I am not at liberty to confirm if that arrest has been effected inside, or investigators, police are still inside the house. The authorities did sort of knock a little bit on the door, on the gate, but nobody came to open, so we're not quite sure at this stage if this particular individual is inside this house at this time. All right, we see some movement. We're not sure if at all, if any arrest has been made.
No, not yet. But so basically, those two individuals in court, those particular individuals who were in court yesterday, did say that.
All right.
What a call from an unknown number.
Just some of the police officials who are still inside. No clarity at whether the second suspect will be coming out, whether police have been successful to find him at this particular time. And authorities are still inside this particular house. So just to recap, witness K from the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, you recall, who testified about she being a girlfriend of the suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Deputy Chief. This is Julius Mkhwanazi. She testified about these precious stones that were stolen in 2023, and under the guise of a legitimate police operation, and how those precious stones, according to the other two accused who appeared in court yesterday, that it was Julius Mkhwanazi who gave the instruction to have those stones handed over to witness K, who has been arrested this afternoon. We're now at the second location of where the second suspect, at least for this afternoon, is expected to be arrested. We are unclear at this particular stage whether he is inside. I am going to, at this particular point, stay on our visuals, and as soon as we see some movement, I'll be chatting to you once again on the latest. We will encourage you colleagues to stay on our visuals, and once you see any movement, we'll get a sense. We also have the spokesperson of IPID, Lizzie Shuping, who is here, so we're likely to get an update from her in terms of whatever is transpiring inside. So we'll ask you colleagues to stay on our visuals and stay with us. And we do understand that at any moment now we might have this second arrest that might be taking place.
Yeah, that's what we have done.
All right, we are still waiting
No, it's fine, it's fine.
at this particular time.
Yeah, but you can send it to me because I think by 5 I'll be closing that. Yes, thank you so
To see if any movement does come from here. All right, we'll ask you to stay on our visuals, and once there is any movement, we will try to connect with you. I beg your pardon.
Now, as the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry continues to hear evidence, major developments, as you can see on your screen, are unfolding outside the Commission's hearing room. And just hours after or just minutes actually, after the arrest of a woman who testified before the Commission under the alias Witness K, what you're seeing now, a second high-profile arrest is underway in Johannesburg, and police are saying that the investigators are currently carrying out this operation as part of the widening investigation into the alleged theft of precious stones worth nearly 15 million rand during that bogus police raid at a property in Kilani back in 2023. And this case has become one of the Commission's key areas of focus, with testimony alleging that members of law enforcement abused their authority during this operation and that valuable stones were unlawfully taken. Evidence heard before the Commission as well, raising serious questions about possible collusion between police officials as well as private individuals, as well as attempts to conceal what happened after this raid. And today's arrest being followed by our senior reporter, Chriselda Lewis, as you can see there. These arrests do mark a significant escalation in the criminal investigation and also suggest that authorities are moving swiftly on evidence that is emerging both through the Commission and through the parallel police investigation as well. And these developments could have far-reaching implications, as you'd know, for the state's own criminal case, with possibility of further arrests as investigators continue to follow new leads. So those scenes coming out right now. Our senior reporter Chriselda Lewis has been tracking these fast-moving developments throughout the day and is at that scene of that second arrest. And we do anticipate some action in a short while.
So Witness K is the one then who made the call to the two officers who were actually on duty at that particular time. So when that call came in, as they were trying to establish who was on the call, the voice of Mr. Mkhwanazi then came through.
All right, if you've just joined us, we're live in Alberton, and this is where the second high-profile arrest is expected to take place. Investigators from the Independent Police Investigative Directorate as well as the tactical response teams are inside this house looking for a second suspect. This relating to the 14 million rand precious stones theft back in 2023, in which Witness K, who was arrested just less than an hour ago. You would have seen those live visuals on SABC News. Witness K having testified at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry about she being a girlfriend of the suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi, and there was an orchestration of this particular theft under the guise of a legitimate police operation, and subsequent to that, those precious stones were then sold for 110,000 rand, and we understand each of the individuals pocketing about 22,000 rand. Now, you would remember that the suspect who is believed to live here, while I cannot mention his name at this particular point, is no stranger to controversy. He's involved in quite a number of controversies, and I will not indicate which ones at this particular point, which might give away before we get an indication of whether he has been arrested inside, whether he is here. But in fact, this now being, if successful, will be the second operation or the second arrest this afternoon relating to the precious metals theft or precious stones theft of 2023, in which Witness K told the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry that the suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi knew about. Remember also yesterday, two other suspects, Chriselda Lewis as well as Agent Mackenzie, had appeared in court. They also granted 5,000 rand bail, and they in their affidavits essentially threw Julius Mkhwanazi under the bus by indicating that it was on his instruction. Stolz as well as Mackenzie in their affidavits indicated that it was on Mkhwanazi's instruction that they hand over those precious stones that were stolen in 2023 and hand them over to Witness K. Witness K, who has now been arrested. The likelihood is that they might appear in court on Monday at this particular stage, and we do understand at this particular point that, or in fact we're not sure if at this point anyone is going to come out. A success on the part of IPID and the police a little bit earlier on in terms of the arrest of Witness K, who had a relationship, she told the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, with Julius Mkhwanazi. And this investigation, of course, by the Independent Police Investigative Directorate has been ongoing, and at this particular stage we understand that you'd recall, of course, while you had EMPD official Mackenzie and Chriselda Lewis, who resigned from the EMPD in 2023, while you had them appearing in court, there'd also been a third suspect, and that had been a private security boss, Etienne van der Walt. The charges were withdrawn against him yesterday, and this is after his lawyers had made representations to the Director of Public Prosecutions. And at this particular stage, we're waiting to hear if there's been any success in terms of the arrest inside. I'm going to hand it over to you, team. You'll stay on our visuals, and as soon as we see some of the members of the police emerge, you could certainly come back to us.
Well, this is a rapidly developing story, or rather, it is developing into one of the most significant news stories to come out today. Of course, as the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry continues its public hearings, what you are seeing in those visuals, as the Commission continues hearing evidence into allegations of corruption, you are seeing a number of arrests being carried out this afternoon, just minutes after the arrest of a woman who was identified or testified before the Commission under the alias Witness K. We do now see a second high-profile arrest which is underway, or at least that operation currently being carried out by police as well as the IPID. And both arrests form part of this criminal investigation into the alleged theft of precious stones worth nearly 15 million rand during a bogus police raid at a Killarney property back in 2023. And the significance, you ask, the significance of these arrests is that this is no longer only a commission hearing allegations and testing evidence, but investigators are now translating evidence and witness statements into criminal action. And it does mark a shift from testimony before the commission to arrests in a parallel criminal investigation. And these precious stones, as you'd remember, have become one of the Commission's central investigations after explosive testimony implicated members of the Johannesburg Metro Police Department, private security officials as well, and other law enforcement officers in what is alleged to have been a carefully orchestrated operation carried out under the guise of legitimate police work. And witnesses have described how officers allegedly used police resources and official authority to gain access to this property in Killarney before these valuable stones just simply disappeared. And the Commission has also heard allegations of fabricated documentation, abuse of police powers, the misuse of search warrants, but also attempts to conceal the alleged theft after the operation took place. And those allegations have placed several serving and former law enforcement officials under intense scrutiny. And today's arrests do suggest that investigators believe there is sufficient evidence to begin holding individuals criminally accountable. And they also raise the possibility that more suspects could be arrested, as of course we watch those developments this afternoon. And as authorities then continue to follow evidence emerging from both the Commission as well as the police's investigations as well. And the developments are unfolding while the Commission of Inquiry has been hearing evidence from SABC warrant officer Mbongeleni Mpangase, who has himself faced sustained questioning over discrepancies in his testimony relating to that 2021 Port Shepstone cocaine seizure. And today, these developments do illustrate the widening scope of the Commission's work and the increasingly direct link between evidence presented before the inquiry and active criminal investigation. So our senior reporter, Chriselda Lewis, has been following developments at those police raids. And of course, as the police operation throughout the afternoon continues and is at that scene where the latest arrest is unfolding. And she will join us for the latest as soon as we do get some action. Or, of course, as that arrest, that second impending arrest, is set to take place any time from now.
Assume that if maybe the person they are looking for is not in the house, they would have known by now at least. So I suspect that there is someone, or they are trying to get information when about the whereabouts of the person they are looking for right now. So we are still camping outside, no sign at all.
Well, we still camped out this second premises where the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, together with other authorities, all right, we do see some of the authorities are coming out at this stage, and we'll get a clear sense. Okay, these are just law enforcement officers coming out at this stage. All right, we have not seen at this particular stage any arrests being effected. We're still waiting. Some of the officers have actually come out, and we're not sure at this particular point.
Metropolitan Municipality in the east of Johannesburg, and the whole has been centered around the
At this particular point, another official coming out. We're not sure at this stage if the suspect... all right, I'm just hearing at the moment that the second suspect is unlikely. All right, we do understand that the second suspect is inside. I'm going to try and bring in, I think if it's at all possible, Melizi Shuping from the Independent Police Investigative Directorate. Mayor, I'm not sure if we're able to just, let's just speak to you here very quickly. Mayor Shuping, this is the second home that you are visiting. Is the suspect inside?
No, we didn't find him inside, so we'll have to go and look at other addresses. But for now, we only have one suspect that we arrested earlier on, and we didn't find the second suspect.
Yes. If you could kindly clarify for us, this is relating, of course, to the precious stones investigation that took place. The first suspect we understand to be Witness K, that testified before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Of course, we're not going to mention her name on the basis that the anonymity aspect already from the Commission was quite clear. Where to next in terms of the second suspect now?
We are going to have to regroup as a team and decide on the way forward.
Any information coming out inside the house about the whereabouts of the person we're looking for? Is there any information that has been shared with you?
Nope. We just found the child inside, and he says the father is not around.
Was he aware that he was going to be arrested?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
As I've heard, we know that there have been several other suspects that have been arrested. Can you give us clarity on the charges that the suspect you arrested today will be facing, and are they going to be joined to the case that's already before court?
Initially, we had 5 warrants of arrest that we had to effect, and I think a week ago we only effected 3 warrants because we had to sort out the paperwork for the remaining 2. So today we are effecting the 2 warrants of arrest, and that is why we have the 1 suspect with us, and we're still looking or pursuing the second suspect. All of them, like I've indicated previously, they raided a house in Killarney, Johannesburg without a warrant, and one of the suspects also impersonated himself as a police officer, while others went to conduct an investigation in an area which was not their area of jurisdiction. But we also had 2 other suspects whose responsibilities at work does not involve any investigation work, and that is the reason why they were facing fraud. There was fraud because there was theft of those precious stones, and they did not even register those exhibits after they seized them from that house in Killarney in the occurrence book of the South African Police Service at a police station.
Is I put under the impression that the suspect that you came here for is on the run?
We don't think he's on the run, but I think we will find him eventually, sometime today or maybe tomorrow, if not today, but we will find him. But I don't think he's on the run.
And the charges,
they all face the same charges.
Yes. Maybe also some clarity on yesterday, 3 other individuals or suspects in this particular case had appeared before court, but one of the charges was withdrawn against the private security boss, Etienne van der Walt. What were the reasons for that? Because clearly IPID believed that he was allegedly part of what transpired in 2023.
His lawyers made representation to the prosecution, and his representation was accepted by the prosecution, hence the action of what happened, hence the action yesterday where his charges were withdrawn. But the other 2 suspects are out on 5,000 bail each.
Have they indicated if they're going to sue the state? Because they felt quite grieved they feel vindicated by the fact that the DPP decided not to prosecute.
I think that's information that we'll get from the prosecution and from their lawyers, but for now we don't have that information.
All right, thank you.
Is the owner of this property aware that IPID is looking for him?
Yes, he knows that we will be looking for him because like we've been talking about suspects in the different cases. So I take it that he does know that we will be looking for him. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much.
Have you been able to make
indeed.
touch with him at all?
Have you tried to call him?
They've been trying to call him, but they can't find him for now. That is why I'm saying we'll have to go regroup and come up with other strategies.
Oh, he's just not answering his phone.
Yes.
All right. Lizzie Supeng, who is the spokesperson of the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, unfortunately unable to find the second suspect at this particular time. They had gone inside. She says that they found the child of the second suspect. This second suspect also relates, of course, to that 14 million rand precious stones case, the theft in 2023. The officials to move towards this direction.
They are going to regroup and really come up.
All right, at this particular stage, we do understand that the authorities have tried to be in contact with the particular suspect. They aren't able to get hold of him at this particular time. And to regroup, that's what we're hearing from the authorities now, but I think there might be some kind of indication at this particular point that he is being sought by police. Witness K, you would recall, testified before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. We're just going to step out here. They're going to close the gate. Witness K, who had testified before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, testifying that she, a girlfriend of the suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi, knew about this bogus operation in 2023. It was done under the guise of a legitimate police operation, and instead it had been a theft, suggesting that he may have been the orchestrator of this particular case. So I'm not at liberty at this particular stage to mention who this suspect is that police have been searching for, but there is an indication that he is aware that police are looking for him at this particular time. He is no stranger to controversy in a number of issues that are currently under investigation at the moment, relating to alleged corruption, relating to alleged involvement in underhanded activities. I'm trying very hard to stay away from some of the charges that this individual is facing, not to give away exactly who I'm speaking about, but tonight you have the witness K, who testified before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, who'll be spending the weekend behind bars and will be appearing before the Johannesburg Magistrates Court this on Monday. And certainly we are expecting perhaps if the police are lucky or the authorities are lucky, they are still going to be searching for this second suspect. But the Independent Police Investigative Directorate says currently that they do not believe that this individual is on the run, but he is aware that authorities are looking for him. Several calls made to him on his cell phone, and unfortunately there's been no success in trying to get hold of him. So the breaking news we have for you this afternoon, witness K, who testified before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, has been arrested and has been taken to police cells, will appear in court on Monday, and authorities are still looking for a second suspect, this relating to the 2023 theft of precious stones in Killarney, under the guise of a legitimate police operation. But in fact we heard from witness K, who has now been arrested, that the suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi knew about that bogus operation. That theft took place. We understand those precious metals or stones had been sold for about 110,000 and about 22,000 shared amongst the individuals, allegedly. And you saw yesterday also in court, just to wrap up, in court you also had the two other accused in the same matter, Chriselda Lewis, who resigned from the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department about a year ago when this investigation started, and also Adrian McKenzie, appearing in court. They were granted 5,000 rand bail. They basically throwing Julius Mkhwanazi under the bus, as I indicated, having said they acted on his instruction to take those stones and hand them over to witness K, who has now been arrested. Back to you in studio.
Well, that's our reporter Chriselda Lewis. Of course, the police having confirmed that the second suspect that they're looking for, searching for this afternoon in connection with that alleged theft of precious stones could not be found this afternoon. And investigators spent much of the afternoon conducting a search at a property linked to the suspect. However, they say the suspect is not at his residence, or at the time at least, when officers arrived.